only got a chance to shine as a broadcaster because he was so lousy also as a scout. He sent in scouting reports of players that all said the same thing. And one day, Bud Selig, who owned the Brewers,
Yeah.
noticed that there was a big stain of mashed potatoes and gravy on most of his reports, and realized he wasn't really made out to be a scout. And now he's a Hall of Fame announcer. He's also a cool dude.
He is for sure. I wonder when he's going to retire. I know he's kind of cut back on his traveling schedule. I think he just does home games now. But I think I was hearing something about a couple of years ago when he was on with Joe Buck on Fox right before I think it was the National League Championship Series games. He was talking about slowly but surely retiring. So, but he's truly a talent for sure. Again, full throttle back here with you on again prime time. We'll go back to 12 noon next Thursday Eastern time. But Dennis, final topic of subject here, and where does NASCAR go from here, and how does NASCAR try to bring back the fans that are mad right now with the decisions that they've made in the last 48 hours?
If they put on a good show, the fans will come back. One of the most common things you always hear every Monday after a NASCAR race is, "That's it. I am done as a NASCAR fan." And they're, of course, watching on Sunday. But I'm going to leave folks with this idea. Again, I don't have a problem with protests. I don't have a problem with anybody doing their own thing, because that's what America is so great about doing. But I'm going to ask a simple question of those who think that kneeling during the national anthem is a good idea as a form of protest. Over the years in this country, and that dates back all my 60 years plus, but in this country, the best protests are ones that united, not divided us. If you're just trying to divide people or just trying to make a stance and make people angry,
right,
then you're taking a political stance. You are not wanting what this country desperately needs, which is racial equality. We're supposed to be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. And when we can come closer to that ideal, then we've made a more perfect union. And right now, I see everybody bickering. I see people getting more divided. I don't see the protest having the desired result. All it's doing is irritating people. Irritating is fine to get their attention,
right,
but you need to find a way to unite this nation before we become the divided states and maybe, ironically, end up in another civil war someday.
I was going to say that with the things that are happening in our world today, could we be looking at a civil war too?
Yeah, it might be. I mean, there's crazy stuff going on, and Antifa has taken over 6 square blocks of downtown in Seattle and declared it a police-free zone. They're talking about wanting to take money away from police departments and all this other stuff. All of these arguments are political. They're not for what we should be standing for, that everybody should be treated equally. What a concept. It's an easy thing to maintain and to achieve one-on-one. But government and politicians get in the way, and then you end up with more division, not more, coming together for the righteous cause of all living together as one big group. We're in this together, whether we like it or not. We're all in this country together, and we got to find a way to put up with each other and to thrive together and to make sure everybody gets a chance, or we are going to fall into another civil war. And last time that happened, and believe it or not, I wasn't born yet when the first Civil War happened.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty. And that's what I'll leave you with today. But NASCAR just needs to put on a good show. The fans have come back.
Homestead Miami Speedway this weekend. Of course, the Xfinity Series is on Saturday. The Dixie Vodka 400 is on Sunday. Can I say something about that? Can I reiterate on this, Dennis?
Yeah, please.
I think you know where I'm coming with this.
Oh yeah.
So we've banned the Confederate flag. We've put our stance on about, peaceful protests for the national anthem. But we have a race called the Dixie Vodka 400 this Sunday.
Yep.
The word Dixie. I find offense to that.
Yeah, the whole thing is that word has taken on an offensive meaning, just like the Confederate flag did, and how tone deaf that coming right out of this whole thing about banning the Confederate flag, the next race back, oh yeah, no problem.
I mean, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, seriously,
Yeah. Once again, it's a case of NASCAR getting the messaging all wrong. But speaking of getting the messaging all wrong, look how much NASCAR got beat up in every media outlet for when Dino Ciccarelli, who I thought was still playing hockey, not a racer, who I don't believe has finished a race in NASCAR in the entire time that he's been in the Truck Series. He's been basically a glorified Starton Parker.
That's right.
He mouths off, and the media jumps all over it.
Yes.
Because just like everything that the media wants to do, they want to make NASCAR look bad. But NASCAR's helping out by having the Dixie Vodka race right after they ban the Confederate flag. I happen to take pride in everything Southern. I take pride in a band called Lady Antebellum, because it shows how far we have come, that we can use these words.
They changed their name, by the way. I don't know if you, I mean, what the hell? I mean, they're changing. Yeah, I don't know.
and they banned the Southern rock group Confederate Railroad here at the fair last year because of the name Confederate Railroad. And in my opinion, maybe you should just ban them because they can't carry a tune like they used to years ago. But it's just we've gotten into an insane world where we let these words bother us. But if you're going to let the Confederate flag bother you, you better let Dixie in a title for a race bother you, because the media is going to be all over that.
Yeah, hopefully we're the first people to break it. So I don't know if anybody's realized it like we have. But hey, listen, if you are if you're race fans or still NASCAR fans, no fans in the stands. There will be fans limited in the stands. They're going to be invited with their families and military from a local Air Force base. Do not call for tickets. However, in 2 Sundays from now, you can go to the Geico 500 at Talladega Superspeedway under a limit of only 5,000 fans. That place, Dennis Michelsen, holds 190,000 people. I've been there.
5,000 fans.
Yes.
Is about how many you fit into a big mud pool in the infield after it rains on Saturday night.
Yes. And I've been told that the tickets are outrageous to order.
Yeah. To me, the part of joy at Talladega Superspeedway is being there,
the boulevard,
with tens and almost 100,000 of your fellow nutcases that are enjoying the racetrack. It's not going to be the same with just a very limited number of fans. Not going to be the same.
You totally ignored me. I said the boulevard. That's a fun time at Talladega too.
Yeah, I got lost there once. I'm too old for that, man. I'm too old for that.
Oh, wow. And again, 5,000 limit. Pocono Speedway announced that the governor of Pennsylvania is allowing Pocono Raceway to have half capacity. Dennis, you, a long-time historian of the NASCAR world and motorsports in general, when do you think the powers that be are going to make it where we can have full houses again for Cup races?
Boy, I really don't know. I'm at that point where I've tried to stop outguessing things, but of course here in Illinois, I got Governor J.B. Pritzker that has for some reason not figured out that the state lines matter. I've moved downstate now to beautiful Danville, Illinois, from Chicago, my hometown, and I can't get a roast beef sandwich at Jocko's, but I can go 3 miles across the border to Arby's in Indiana, and I can have a roast beef sandwich in their shop. It makes absolutely no sense. The virus travels those 3 miles as well. But when it comes to NASCAR, they have to be more careful than your short tracks, because if they do anything wrong, whatsoever. They're going to get vilified in the media again, and it's just going to hurt all of their sponsors. It's all about the Fortune 500 companies that support NASCAR that are why we have a slow roll when it comes to coming back. And I have given up trying to predict maybe by the end of the year, the last month or two of the season will finally be left out of our boxes. But that's only if the election goes the right way.
You're free.
Want it.
That's right. So, and I don't think it's going to go that way either. But that's neither here nor there. It's not a political show. But Dennis, back to subject one here. Now, IndyCar, they were in action this past weekend. Texas Motor Speedway, Genesis 300. I think it was really cool to have Scott Dixon pick up the win. Yeah,
it was, and they actually put on a pretty good show.
Oh yeah, hell of a show.
Compared to the Snooze 500 we saw at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And here's the thing about NASCAR. If you screw up, remember how I was talking about how cars got the package right if an underdog can win, and they always put on a good show?
Yeah.
The opposite for NASCAR. If you screw up the Atlanta Motor Speedway, you don't have the right rule package in place. And that race was dull. It was dull with a capital D. The race down at Texas for IndyCar was better. IndyCar put on a better show than stock cars. How the heck did that happen? And as a matter of fact, I think they ruined Martinsville because that race on Wednesday, I dozed off twice. Now, granted, I get up at 4 a.m. to do my morning farm show here down in Danville, but I don't doze off during auto racing. It was a very, very dull race, the last two races. So NASCAR's got to step up to the plate. They got to produce a really good race this weekend.
A lot of cool times, a lot of great things going on. And, again, I think I can pass the same sentiments that Dennis Michelsen, colleague here and co-host, said. We need to try to find a way to be united and not divided. And to do that, we've got to try to find a way to listen to people, especially during topics and subjects that many people want to avoid, like racism and like, this divide and the things about the Confederate flag and your thoughts and your opinions. Listen, that's why God made us all differently. We are not all the same. We're not the same creatures of this earth. What Dennis thinks about one thing we might agree upon, we disagree about something else. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special people. So we need to learn to try to be united instead of divided. I like that, Dennis Michelsen. I think I might let that be my tweet of the night.
Well, thank you very much, young man. I respect your right to say something even when you disagree with me and you're wrong. But let me leave you with this thought. For the last 6 months, I have been ending my morning radio show with the same line. And it has taken on even more meaning with the COVID-19 crisis and now with the racial unrest in this country. When I sign off the air, I tell everybody, be good to each other. That's the way I end every show that I do. And if we could just live up to that simple motto of being good to each other, regardless of our skin, regardless of who we love, regardless of what we wear, and that includes a blue uniform of a police officer.
That's right.
If we could all just be a little bit better to each other, to be good to each other. That's my final thought for the night.
And I always say, keep on praying for America, because God knows we definitely need it in this day and age right now. Thank you for joining us on CRN's Full Throttle. Brandon White and myself will be back here next 12 noon on Thursday next week. But thank you so much, Dennis Michelsen, for joining me. Thank you to all of our guests, including Terry Dill of Orange County Speedway, Bob Lowery, Carteret County Speedway. They're back in action this weekend. And Ryan Millington, winner of the Cars Tour event at Ace Speedway. All podcasts of our shows are available at crnsports.org and available outlets by putting in CRN Sports. So again, Dennis Michelsen, I've enjoyed it, buddy. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Always a pleasure, Wesley. Anytime you need a sidekick, you know my number.
For sure. For Dennis Michelsen, for Trace Knight running the boards in Henderson, North Carolina, also co-founder, for Andrew Laird, for Bruce Barrett, for Brandon White. I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us for Full Throttle. We'll do it again next Thursday. God bless you all, and thanks for tuning in.